I'm Taylor from Eithera, and I'm so excited to introduce our guests today. We have Maurice Johnson and Jen Netrosio of Superhuman Soul and Limitless Soul Yoga, where you can step into your greatness, unlock limitless potential, free mind, body, and soul. Now, I'm so excited because this is the third step in our series. We are talking about Manipura, or the Solar Chakra energy. And this is really exciting energy. It's yellow light, and it focuses on will, empowerment, assertiveness, growth, and is all about fire energy. And it's beyond ego. It's not just the reward, but also for the sake of doing the action that you really get fulfillment. So I'm so excited to introduce our guests and kind of find out a little bit more about how their programs support this energy and how you guys can support your energy too. So Jen and Maurice, will you guys take it away?
All right. So my name is Maurice, obviously. And so my background is fitness, it's personal training, group fitness, and personal development.
And I am a yoga teacher. I am also a lawyer and a figure skating coach. So together we bring a nice, interesting balance to everything that we do.
And so within both of those, your professional background, how did you guys get started within, working on those specifically?
For me, my journey as a fitness professional started about 18 years ago. I was always interested in exercise and fitness because I was an overweight kid. I remember watching shows in high school, body shaping and Fitness Beach in particular, even Galad. And so they really enticed me to to look at working out as something that was cool to do and something that would help me take care of myself and get to another level. As I went on, I saw the guys doing stuff on the beach. I'm like, I want to do that. So it started out as a hobby, so to speak. And then I took a turn with it. I said, I don't really want people to feel the way I felt as a kid. So how can I help other people take control of their lives and feel better about themselves? And so it went from a hobby, from a hobby to a passion to a purpose.
Awesome. And Jen, what about you?
Well, my primary focus now is yoga, and I found that just really by chance. When I was practicing law, I gravitated to yoga because it just really helped me feel more grounded and more like myself. And while I was practicing law, I was struggling with finding balance generally in my life, to the point where then I left the practice of law really without a plan. I relied on my background as a figure skating coach just to kind of work a bunch and try to figure it out. And in that time, I was taking more and more yoga classes, gravitated to taking a 200-hour teacher training. At that same time in my life, a lot of other things were shifting around besides my career. Moved, got out of a relationship, and the stars just aligned for me to do that teacher training, not even for the intention of teaching, but that was such a beautiful byproduct of what happened from the training. So I started teaching, and then Maurice and I met because we were teaching at the same facility, and so it brought us together too, which is beautiful.
That's awesome. And so I really love how your guys' practice, includes a spiritual path. It's not just about working out. It's not just about, being in the best shape you can, which is obviously, something exciting that people want, but you have something deeper. So can you tell us a little bit more about, how you incorporate your spiritual path into it, or like how you started, like where that kind of came from? And I'd love to hear a little bit more.
So, over time, as Jen mentioned, she had, we both had different relationships going on. And as anyone can attest, a relationship is a major part of someone's life. I started doing some work on myself. The grassroots started about 5-6 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. But the real stuff started to like hit the road about 3 years ago. And I decided to go on a mission to really find myself. And in order to do that, I had to ask myself really tough questions. I had to face many fears. One of my main fears was losing my mom, and that happened. So the death of my mom, and both of my parents actually for that matter, was a major shifting point in my life. And I got to a point where I said, I mean, there's nothing else to be afraid of at this point. I felt everything I needed to feel. I need to heal myself from this. What can I do? And then thus began my path towards self-love. Mm. And from that, it led me towards ownership, towards accepting things, lots and lots of reading, and even into yoga. So I became a yoga practitioner more so over the past couple of years. And Jen is my yoga teacher, and then that's how we kind of segued into each other.
I think that's beautiful. And I love that your kind of paths kind of interwove themselves from, you know, that place of not darkness, but just a place where you were questioning and you really needed support other than, you know, what was outside of you. So you looked, you know, at your community. So I think that's, you know, such a cool way to kind of go about it, and explore it too, not just about, you know, knowing what you were doing. It was kind of like asking the questions. So in terms of, you know, what should new people know about, you know, working out in kind of more of a mindful way or a spiritual way, you know, and, you know, can you speak a little bit about, you know, how you incorporate that soul level awakening and empowerment within it?
Okay, so there's 3 rules that I play by in my classes or even in my training sessions. And it all starts from judgment. So you don't judge yourself, you don't judge other people, and you have as much fun as possible. And they came together because when you let go of judgment of self, you're free to be whoever you are and make mistakes and learn. You don't judge anyone else, you allow yourself freedom to learn from other people. And when you have as much fun as possible, you're carefree, you're doing it, there's more pleasure and enjoyment to it. And the reality is, most human beings, once they're controlled by the motivational triad, which is they want something to feel good as efficiently as possible and avoid pain. So that's what they want to do. So what I tend to do is with these core rules is to allow people the space to explore what they're able to do. And the feel good factor comes in like, I can do this. I can achieve this. I can push myself and get more out of it. And in order for them to get to that point, they're going to have to let go of preconceived notions. They have to open up their hearts to various points of view. And that takes a bit of bravery. So people can feel good just by taking a brave step by stepping into the room, then going forward and doing some other things.
Yeah, I think that's so beautiful. And I love that, you know, you kind of speak to, you know, how you motivate them outside of the traditional kind of motivating factors. You know, one of the quotes that I read recently was this energy, the solar energy, is all about that spark of enthusiasm that ignites power and will. And I think that you guys beautifully incorporate that. So Jen, like, how have you felt that you kind of bring that into your practice?
I think, well, for both of our styles, which is why we were really drawn to each other, first as students of each other, not as anything else, is that it's all very empowering. And it's all about looking at yourself, accepting yourself, studying yourself, and then saying, what can I do? And that was really something that I learned from Maurice. I learned the first time I took his superhuman class was, you know, it doesn't matter what my weight is, how in shape I feel. It's about what more can I do? What can I do today that I couldn't do yesterday? And that really serves as the foundation for this limitless concept that we are infinite. We can do anything. And a lot of it is just confronting limiting beliefs that we've placed on ourselves or that society has placed in our minds. over the years. And then to approach it with enthusiasm. You know, we both keep it real in our classes, we keep it real in our life. And, you know, sometimes funny things happen, sometimes we're just silly, and it's all good, right? Because you can do the hard work and you can also enjoy it.
That's amazing. So in terms of like, how can people kind of interact with you? Maurice, you had such a beautiful story about, you know, kind of looking in the mirror, you know, within one of your classes. Can you share a little bit about that and how, you know, our people watching can maybe incorporate that immediately?
Well, it's very simple. Now, remember, the word simplicity or simple does not necessarily mean easy. So hold on to your seats, folks, because
All
there's
right,
going to be
we're
some real
holding
major
on.
stuff right here. So this is what I say. Look in the mirror. The greatest person of all time is staring right back at you. Now, in order for that to really work, one has to look in that mirror, look straight into their own eyes, and realize everything that they're searching for is within themselves. The greatest person of all time is staring back at you. And so using that mirror analogy it's a concept of ownership. If you are the greatest person of all time, then you have to dig in there and pull out the greatest person of all time. You have to do work to be the greatest person of all time. But you cannot be afraid to pull out your inner greatness whenever you see that mirror. You may not like what you see right now, but in terms of acknowledging what you see, you can change it. You can shape it, you can mold it. And that's the beauty of it. So that's what the mirror represents.
I think that's beautiful. So in terms of, you know, how people can, you know, what other ways people can kind of interact, you know, what are some of the core work or some of the workouts that you really love that kind of affect, you know, the midsection, kind of propping it up and giving it strength?
Well, I can answer that question for Maurice because I'm his student, so I can answer it from that perspective. He has this really, really powerful segment in his class called Hold the Line. Ooh. And it's holding a core movement, like it's usually a plank. It could be something like a bear crawl or a V-sit or something else. And it's, you hold it, and that's really the battle. The battle is in your mind, the battle is in your body, and it's really, really powerful. Sometimes he plays Carrie Underwood's You Are a Champion, and Champion. And then but it can become so powerful that sometimes I and other participants will sing it out loud, like we'll feel it and embody it, because you're literally strengthening yourself from the inside out. And it's so beautiful, but it's also gritty and hard and difficult and sweat dripping in your eye, but it's worth it. And that's the whole point, is like, it's worth it because you're worth it, because you are the greatest person of all time. And then so is the person next to you. They're also the greatest person of all time. Yeah. So, and that's the beauty of doing that segment in a class, in a community too, because there's that reciprocity of, we're all amazing and we're all powerful and we're all infinite.
And I love that you kind of bring in that fire energy element of, you know, the solar chakra, and how it's really about willpower. I mean, at a certain level, it's not just like you feeling great, but like you said, it's like committing to it, having the will to be that person and going after it. And I think that that's such a powerful move to incorporate in order to kind of, you know, support that energy. So that's really fun that you guys kind of bring that in so many different like aspects of the practice. So, you know, when people are kind of searching out other programs, what should they be looking for if they're trying to like support kind of that willpower, that energy, and kind of the instructors who they might be interested in like reaching out to? What should they look for in instructors?
I think in anything, people should look for a well-balanced program and a well-balanced routine. So what I mean by that is, let's say, you know, they're specifically taking a core class or a strength class, something very targeted. If that's in your routine, then you also want other things to complement though, you know, your body and your mind in terms of the work you're doing there, which is why we're such big proponents of cross training and why we incorporate fitness and yoga, because too much of anything isn't good, right? But specifically when you strengthen your core, it goes into all other things. That's how you balance better. That's how you have proper form, even when you're sitting, when you're doing your work, when you're doing other exercises. So everything really does come from the core out, and people could look for just a core focused class, or they could look for a total body class and understand how important it is to engage their core.
And so I love how you guys kind of talk about like the balance of, you know, a specific class, but also your guys' programs, you know, don't have just like the balance within each specific class. They have like a balance of kind of a holistic balance that comes into that soul level work and that, you know, heart level understanding of who they are. Can you, you know, provide a few examples of the programs that you offer that kind of can help people right now?
So within our offerings at Superhuman Soul, we have a group called the SelfLove Club.
Oh.
And that right there is, believe it or not, one of our pride and joys of what we offer. Because while doing physical activity is great, you're raising up your endorphins, you're releasing stress, you're doing all that stuff on the outside for the physical body and also the emotional body. The SelfLove Club is targeted specifically for the inside, for the soul body, for the heart and everything on the inside. And it's an open, judgment-free forum where we'll put out an idea and people are free to speak and talk about what they believe in, whether they believe with the quote that's being said or not. So what we'll do, we'll put up something like our last club Saturday. The topic was patience, and we likened patience to seeing a mountain in the distance. As you see a mountain way out there in the horizon, you see the snow-capped peaks and all that wonderful stuff, and you're looking at, wow, I want to go over there. I'm curious. So you start going towards it, and as you get closer to it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you start to feel a little certain type of way, and your willpower might be tested. Remember we talked about will a few moments ago. Your willpower might be tested, but then you get closer to it, and then it's really big, and it's ominous, and it's right in front of you. And you're like, okay, I still want to get to the other side. I'm going to do this, but I want to get to the other side as fast as I can. But hold on. It's treacherous. There's certain footholds and handholds you have to go on to get to this other side of the mountain. If you go too fast, you will slip down, you will slip and fall backwards. And then eventually you get to a point where there's no return, where you can't run backwards and you got to go forward, but you have to be patient in how you do it in your methods. Mm-hmm. So we spoke to that last week on Saturday, and people had a lot of cool things to say about that. And it reveals who you are at the core, and it exposes what you may want to change. And that's where that change work comes into play. And then you start applying it to your workouts on a physical level.
Yeah, so we offer the SelfLove Club too as a way of like just expanding your perspective on things. People share, yes. Some people agree with our take on a topic or not, and it's just this open dialogue. And we have a book club too that we call Soul Food. So you can come and you can get your high intensity workout, your strength workout, your core workout. And then you can get your vinyasa yoga practice, your yin yoga practice, and soul food in the SelfLove Club and the book club. So we look at it, Taylor, as you said, like as a holistic offering because we believe in developing the whole person. That's something that's very important to us.
I love how you kind of, you know, speak to, again, the holistic offerings, but, you know, also that you really have thought about your, you know, clients in a way that it's not just them coming for a workout, it's them, you know, really, you are embracing all of them. And I think that that's such a beautiful way to kind of go about your business and your programs. And so, you know, what other ways can people interact with you? Are you guys online? Are you guys physical? Like what's going on with your programs right now?
That's a great question. Right now, everything is virtual. Everything is housed under our website, which is superhumansoul.com. And you can register for the free self-love club, the free book club, or any of our classes, yoga and fitness classes there. And then we will be teaching in person again at some point. We're based in New York, but you know, we're just riding this wave like everybody else and seeing what will come.
And so when people kind of come to you, I assume you have like long-term clients, how are they further connecting to, you know, the programs that you're offering? And what makes them, you know, how are they connecting with the practice further, I guess?
So it's interesting you say that, because a couple of people who are using our products or our classes, they're personal clients of mine. I've had them some of them I had about 13 years. And the couple I've had for 13 years, the wife is a two-time cancer survivor. And even like in the process, because Superhuman Soul was born, you know, at some point, this particular woman went with me, and her and her husband climbed the mountain, and she's afraid of heights.
Wow.
So they're facing themselves. Another person decided to up and make a change and hire Jen's business coach. So people are making changes in that way. Other people are coming in and getting to know us, and they're starting to apply what they're learning and what they're getting from SelfLove Club into their own lives. They're telling their kids about it. They're having discussions with their husbands. So all the work that we're doing, and then they're introducing their kids to me and things like that. And so all the work that's being done, they're taking it and they're applying it to their lives so they can move forward. So that's always happening.
So you have that will and that power, that internal power, but it's becoming actionable items that they're taking to the rest of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so cool. And so, you know, so people can find you online. Do you guys have Facebook? Do you guys have other social media? How can they, you know, learn more about you guys, interact with you guys, and kind of, you know, what other programs are upcoming, or ways that you're, you know, staying involved with fitness and kind of supporting that willpower, that energy, that beautiful soul love?
We are both on Facebook and Instagram. So in addition to contacting us through the website, you can follow us on social media. You can send us direct messages. We would absolutely love for people to just reach out to us and have a conversation, you know, and maybe you just one time attend the Self-Love Club, and maybe you don't share that time. You just see what it's about and hear other people's perspectives. And you know, we have found that to be really powerful, especially in a time that a lot of people don't have their communities that they had because of certain restrictions. So that can be really powerful. So we just encourage people to reach out to us. My Facebook is Jennifer Nicole Netrosio, and that's a tongue twister. Maurice's is Maurice S. Johnson. And our Instagrams, mine is Limitless Yoga Jen, and Maurice's is Super Spartan Mojo.
Very cool. And I'll be sure to include all of those handles at the end of the video and in the links so that everyone can go ahead and find them. And oh my gosh, can you tell me actually a little bit more about, you know, your Soul Level Club? You know, that's an online community? Is that a monthly membership sort of thing? Or can you tell me a little bit more for, you know, us and everyone listening?
Sure. So it's called Self-Love Club, and we hold it Wednesday, 7 a.m. and Saturday, 11 a.m.
Eastern.
Every single week. It's held on Zoom right now, and there's no monthly commitment requirement, nothing required to sign up. You just go onto our website, click booking, and click the Self-Love Club. The website will prompt you through, and then after you register there, you get your Zoom link and you just show up.
Oh, how cool. So people can kind of hop on and like introduce themselves to you immediately.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's been such a fabulous, moment catching up with you guys. I really thank you so much for coming on and speaking to us about living colorfully, and kind of, helping us to understand how we can support the Manipura solar chakra energy. So thank you guys so much. And I look forward to continuing to, hear about what you guys are up to. So thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Taylor.
you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.
Always nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Bye.
Bye.